Hey, Tanner James, DJ TJ. We have another gig log. Look, this weekend's crazy. So, today we have a bar mitzvah. You know, I don't tend to do a ton of them, but if I get the opportunity, I love to do them. We are in the car. This is gonna be a longer drive. It's gonna be like a little over 2 hours, and I'll tell you why I ended up doing this. But as you can see, the car is already packed. Let me bring that up. It's already all the way packed. Yesterday I had a school dance and I did a gig log for that. I had a school dance, and so what I did was I just left everything in the car. I parked in the garage. I pulled out what I didn't need, and we're good to go. That's why the car is already packed. I took this event, and it's farther away, and I generally don't do events this far away from home just because it's kind of a drive. Like, you know, it just takes up extra time, and you charge for that. You should charge for that, but I don't think there's a problem with doing gigs that are farther away like that, that are farther than, like, you know, maybe an hour. There are a lot of DJs out there that say like, oh no, I don't work farther than an hour away. And I'm not one of those, especially because farther away means can be a lot more money involved in the booking, just because there's more money in those towns. So that can definitely be a good thing for us DJs. I don't have that. I just charge more. You know, like if it's gonna eat up more of my time, I'm just gonna charge more. So it's not that, you know, huge of a deal. But I took this event. Normally I don't, because normally I can get events closer to home, and you know, if it is closer to, I like events that are closer to home, but you know, whatever. I took this event because I had a prom or a winter ball lined up for this weekend, this Saturday, and then probably a month before, they're like, hey, can we switch our date? We want to change venues, and can you do this? And I'm like, yeah. And so we moved it back. So next weekend I have a cool big winter ball with a cool setup, so I'll make sure I do a gig log for that. For tonight, that kind of left me like, I have an open date on a good date that I got a lot of leads for this day. I probably got 6, 7, 8 leads for this day that I had to turn down because of that prom or that winter ball that then got switched. So, you know, that is the sucky thing, you know, with this industry, but you know, it is what it is. So then I just took a different event, charged a little bit more, booked it, and we are good to go. So that's why we're going far today. You can see that there's a big piece of truss right here. Normally I don't put it here. Normally I put it on a different side and then push that seat all the way up. I did it right here because I actually have somebody coming with me. So my photographer and videographer, I found him via work, right? I worked with him many times, and then we actually ended up becoming pretty good friends. And so he's just gonna come with me. I don't know if he's gonna take videos or pictures or anything. He'll probably take them on this camera, but he's gonna come with me just to keep me sane in this car ride, just because it's gonna be a long car ride. The event is 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and so we're gonna get there. You know, if you have a long travel, you need to leave ultra early, because you don't want, like, what if there's a little bit of traffic, right? You need to leave extra early, especially if you're traveling. We're leaving pretty early. We'll get there early. We'll have lunch. We'll go and we'll set up, and then after that, it'll probably take us less than half an hour really to break down, and then we'll be back on the road. So it is just gonna be a long day, probably a 12-hour day with 5 hours of it being in the car. So yeah, I'll do another clip when he gets in the car and when we get on the road. All right, we're here. We are all the way in Sunnyvale. It's right past San Jose in California, if any of you guys know it. I'm here, my photographer and friend, he is here. If you haven't checked out the video, go check it out, and the podcast. We have both a video and a podcast. He's a photographer and a videographer, so he gives some tips to DJs about getting on preferred vendors lists and that kind of thing. So that's those are some really awesome videos. I'll link those down below. We are gonna go load in right now, and we'll be good to go. Bam, so yeah, the bar mitzvah, it went really well. You know, it was a really small crowd. It was about 20 people. And you know, with small events, it's just not as crazy. There just aren't as many people to get crazy. It's just not like, oh my God, you know, it's not like those crazy ones. And I think that's one of the things that we see on social media, on YouTube with DJs, is we see the good events. We see the awesome events with 300, 400, 500 people. Well, when you have 500 people, the more people are going to be dancing versus 20 people. So keep that in mind, that it may not be that you suck as a DJ, it's just that they have more people at their events. If you're looking at all these DJs on YouTube and they have 500 people come to their event and 300 of them are dancing, right? That's 60% of people dancing. That's not a huge percentage. At your events, you have 95% of people dancing, but you only have 30 people at your event. You know what I mean? So definitely keep that in mind when you're when you're looking at these gig logs and that kind of thing, because it really is important. You may not suck as a DJ even if you think you do, so think about that next time. If you haven't seen the last gig log I just did, it was a smaller school dance and it went very well, so go ahead and go check that one out. I'll put the link down below in the description. If you have any questions, go ahead, leave it down below. I know how it is, you have questions and you want answers, and I try and get back to all the comments, all the questions super quick. So if you have any questions, go ahead, leave that down below. Hit me on social media. I'll put all the links down below in the description, and I will see you at the next gig log. Look, it's gonna be crazy. I promise you, it's crazy. So definitely check that one out. Subscribe so that you stay updated. Thank you for checking out the video.